Peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? This is your guy, Rashawn, aka Looker. I want to welcome y'all to Space Invaders TV. Hope all is doing well. Peace and blessings to you all. Today is May the 20th, Thursday, May the 20th, 2021. And we just gonna jump right in. I want to know what y'all feeling about with this mask mandate. You know, many states, around the country have lifted their mandates on a mask. In the gatherings, some states aren't with it. And some states, some states are just gonna stick to the script, and they're like, hey, we're gonna play it safe. Y'all can do what y'all want, but we're gonna continue to wear the mask. And then even the states that have lifted their mandates, you may have certain residents still like, hey, I'm gonna at least wear my mask for another year. So what y'all think? You know what I mean? Because I'm just gonna jump right into it, because my thing is, I'm a big advocate of, okay, the country gotta get moving. I spoke about this excuse me, y'all. Spoke about this months ago. Like, yes, we this country is a business, and I knew that the whole 2020 was spent quarantining and things of that nature, and we already know what it was for COVID, during 2020. So it wasn't no movement like that. So I already knew in 2021, and if you go back and look at my old videos, I spoke about it briefly. Like, I knew that this year it wasn't going to be another summer without people being out and the country being back to trying to get back to some normalcy. Regardless of what the situation, what it may have been looking like, I knew that 2021, by the spring, summer, at the latest, I knew that they were gonna be trying to get back to getting things, getting this country back up and moving, at all costs. But we got to be smart about it. We got to use caution. And we can't be reckless. When they come out, and it's been a big confusion about this mask mandate. And when they come out, when lifting the mask mandate, I should say, when they come out, they're like, yeah, pretty much it was like, okay, we got people vaccinated, so everyone can just come out with no mask. That's what it sounded like. That's what it was. And then it was just a bunch of confusion, and still confusion about it. And then, so it's like, now you have people like Fauci or whatever, people, is backtracking now. And it's like, hey, you have to watch how you say things. You can't just come out and say things like that, because you're going to have those that's going to be like myself, like, what? Like, and then you're going to have those that just like, yeah, great, rip the mask off, come out. How do you know that, how do we know who got vaccinated or not? It was talks about businesses having, being able to tap into some type of application and find out if each customer or whatever, or each person that enters their establishment is COVID free. Some application. I'm not clear on it, so I'm not gonna continue to try to figure it out and speak on it. But so a lot of businesses, what I gathered, the little bit that I gathered, a lot of businesses, they're not doing that. The application, I don't remember the name of it, whatever. So it's like, how will we just, how do you know that this person got vaccinated or not? Why are we jumping out there so fast as if Um, as if we didn't have, you know, what the CDC says, as if we didn't have 587 deaths from COVID and 587, you know what I'm saying, thousand deaths from COVID. As if we didn't have 33.1 million cases from COVID. Like, how are we just gonna throw everything out the window and act like last year didn't take people for a freaking ride with this COVID? How are we just gonna come back right now? You know, now, like I said, let's go back. I said I'm all down for us getting back to the business and trying to get some normalcy going because, okay, granted, the government gave out stimmy checks. A lot of people, a lot of families were saved with the stimulus. A lot of people got saved, you know, got from being evicted with those mandates put in place. Let's just keep it a buck. Certain people might have already been on the fence before the COVID hit, and the COVID really was a gift and a curse, a blessing in disguise for some people. You know what I'm saying? Because some people probably was already on the fence with a lot of things, and then they got blessed with, okay, being able to, with the mandate being able to, the eviction or moratorium being able to stay put in their places, which there's a fight with that right now too. You know what I mean? There's things going on, and people are gonna be looking at, you know, they're gonna be getting evicted for whatever. You know, whatever that case, whatever those situations are, if it's gonna go through, if it's not gonna go through, I don't know. You know what I mean? But what I do know is that it was a roller coaster ride with the pandemic, and how soon can we? How we just gonna forget like that? All that was lost, and all that was almost lost. You know, people lost businesses. People who had still holding on to their businesses are just trying to pick up the pieces and get things back together. Some businesses were in the motion of opening up, getting ready to open up before COVID hit. You know what I mean? And then now businesses can't get employees. You know what I mean? Because of the situation where they feeling like, you know, employees are, you know, or people period, or just like saying freaking, I'm gonna just lay out and collect my unemployment because I could get more money home. So we're still dealing with a lot. With the effects, it's still here. Why are we acting as if? Why is it? I ain't gonna say we. Why is the government wanting to, like, okay, you want to move on, but you want to push that? We just can't push that behind because it's still here. It's still here. You know, mentally, people now have gotten used to coming out with masks. A lot of us that are more, a lot of us that are conscious about, you know, when we come out in the atmosphere, when we step out into the world, when we leave our homes, a lot of us were already before the pandemic. A lot of us always use hand sanitizers and things of that nature when you sat down to eat at a restaurant or things of that nature. Some people won't even eat with the silverware supplied on the table at a restaurant. You know, a lot of us would get plastic. You know what I mean? So a lot of people were already conscious about their surroundings and the atmosphere and the cleanliness and, you know, sanitizing and things of that nature. So then when the COVID hit, that just upped it for a lot of people, man. Especially you got to think about people that are OCD, man. I mean, and so now you're saying lift the masses up. So a lot of us are like, no, we're not doing that. You know, I mean, me personally, I'm gonna keep my mask on at least for another year. You know, I'm gonna continue to wear my mask out in public at least for another year. You know, and we just gonna see how things roll. You know what I mean? Who knows? I mean, that might be somewhat the new norm for me. You know what I mean? I mean, yeah, I got extra masks. I don't know about you guys. I keep extra masks in my car. You know, like y'all know, I drive trucks on the road. I got masks in my truck. I got masks around me and reach. You know what I'm saying? So it's become a part of my lifestyle now. So it's like, hey, I just can't cut that off. You know what I'm saying? I just can't cut that off. And, you know, just not, my family, we not doing that. So, you know, it's all about, hey, we started it and it was said that it had to be done. And then we knew that in order to kind of combat this thing as much as we could, we had to wear them, and we wore ours. And I'm like, we're going to continue to wear it, you know, because we're out and about, we're in the public, we're out in the public all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. And I'm just trying to figure out how could we just, how we just gonna try to walk away? This ain't a thing that we could just walk away. And when you tell people that, and you saying, okay, no, we just meant for the ones that are vaccinated. I got that, you know what I'm saying, when I heard it. But at the same time, why would you want the mandate, to lift the mask mandate? Okay, it's one thing to try to get people back up and rolling out and get the economy back, get people back to work, get things back rolling. That's one thing. I'm all an advocate for that. But to say to take the mask off, that shouldn't even have been a question, man. Why is it? Why? Okay, if people are vaccinated, that's perfectly fine. But that doesn't mean still we need to strip the mask, keep the mask on. Let's make sure we definitely see these cases hit rock bottom. You know, hit bottom out, zero. You know what I mean? Let's not leave no doors open like that. You know, I'm just not understanding like the thought process behind that part. It's one thing to get things back rolling, but let's not abandon that mandate like that. Hey, people didn't want to be stuck inside when they had the, when people had the quarantine. Okay, so when those things were lifted around the country, okay, you were able to come back outside and you were able to have the gatherings. Okay, well, if we had if we have something as widespread as this COVID and how it's hit a lot of parts of the world, you know, how we just gonna act like, you know, the vaccine is the end all be all? We can't act like that. We cannot act like that. You shouldn't act like that. I think that was a poor call to say rip the mask off. I really do. That was a poor call, man. I mean, okay, bam, everything. Oh, sporting events. Okay, yeah, let's have the sporting events, but hey, gotta keep your mask on. I'm sorry, you gotta do it. You know, like, hey, okay, yeah, when you out like that, you gonna go to a ball game, whatever. Hey, you gotta keep the mask on. I mean, let's just be real here, because we don't know who has got vaccinated and who hasn't. You know, and it's almost kind of like, you know, a lot of people have their different views about that vaccine as well. Let's just be clear about that. You know, who was that? Pfizer that they just got, the FDA just approved them. You know what I mean? Like, so a lot of people had those things like, hey, this is just an experiment. A lot of people had those thoughts about it being, hey, this is just an experiment. I'm not trusting that vaccine. A lot of people haven't taken it. But when you say, oh, if those who have got vaccinated, you can take your mask off. And so then that's like, okay, let's just say everyone is being honest. So let's just say everyone's being honest. So then you get the ones who's been vaccinated, then they got the mask on. Then you got the people over here who didn't get vaccinated, they don't have the mask on. You know what that causes there? A divide. That causes a divide. That causes a problem, because now you have those who feel a way about the vaccine and they got vaccinated. They may start to tend to look at those who didn't get vaccinated in a certain light. You know what I'm saying? When everyone has their own view Everyone has their own reasons why they didn't take it. Everybody's reason is valid. Your reason is valid why you wanted to take it. Your reason is valid why you didn't want to take it. So why, when you do that right there, that causes a divide. So why not, hey, you got vaccinated, great, but we all got to keep the mask on. Let's not act like how nasty this disease was. Let's not act like we didn't lose 587,000 American people. That's just in the United States. Let's act like we didn't have 30. Let's not act like. Let me clean that up. Let's not act like we didn't have 587,000 cases. Let's not act like we didn't have 33.1 million cases and 587,000 deaths. Let's not act like that didn't exist. Let's not act like American families didn't lose family members. Let's not act like American families didn't have a COVID scare in their families. Let's not act like that. Let's not act like that. Let's not act like that didn't happen. Let's not act like other countries around, from China to Europe. Let's not act like the borders weren't shut down. Just the neighbors just next door in Canada. Let's act like, let's not act like we were still able to walk across that border to go even in Canada. Let's not act like that. Let's not act like we could. Let's not act like we could still go to other states. I mean, besides Atlanta. Let's not act like it wasn't rules out there. If you could go, if you went to another state, you had to quarantine. If you went to another state, you were supposed to quarantine for 14 days. Huh? Let's not act like that didn't exist. You know, that's you know, that trend of that period. I don't care how it was said was wrong. We can't act like this thing didn't exist. Unless, you know, okay, and, you know, so they're saying, so now we got 331 million American people, right? That's the population of the United States. That's the population, right? So let's see here. So the vaccine, they saying, okay, and this is from Bloomberg, the Bloomberg report. In the U.S., 277 million doses have been given so far. In the last week, an average of 1.8 million doses per day were administered. Well, let's stop right there. Administered. Let's get that clear. 1.8 million doses per day were administered. That just means they set up shop. That just means that they were sent and they were setting up shop in different cities around the country. That's all it meant. So 1.8 million doses per day were administered. That was 1.8 million a day. That's 1.8 million doses per day that is ready for anyone in any said state, city and state, to get the COVID shot. They're saying there's 277 million doses that have been given so far. Let's just go back here and look again. Like I said, there's 331 million American people. You have 277 million doses that have been given out so far. That's great, right? You're almost reaching the goal of all Americans having it, right? Now, when you break that down, that's still something like, what are we looking at here? That's still something like maybe like 50-something million people still haven't got vaccinated. Okay? So let's look at this here. That could be broken down. That could be broken down in many ways. That could be almost a whole state. Well, you got California, the state of California, they have 39 million residents alone. Okay? You got North Carolina, they have 10.47 million residents. You have Florida that has 21,733 million residents. You know what I'm saying? That's just 3 right there alone. Okay? Now this could be broken down. We do the math so that I can get y'all to understand something. This could be broken down a lot of ways. So now we could go off and we could say, now we still have 50 million residents in the United States that haven't got vaccinated, right? So let's look at this here. That still could be half of these states around the country. That you could take that 50 million and break that down with the 50 plus states in this country. Simple math, man. Break it down. So you looking at probably half of these states around the country probably got vaccinated, man. That's half of the states around the country. I'm not going to believe that a whole state got vaccinated. Because a lot of people have different views, man. A lot of people have different views. Some people don't, some people don't mess around with that type of stuff, and people may feel, they may have thoughts of that's just a test. You've heard all the theories and everything behind these vaccines and things of that nature, man. People have different thoughts, and then you have people that say, hey, they say this gonna save me, this gonna cure me, I'm gonna go take it. I'm not here to say whoever is right or wrong in this situation. Everybody has their own belief and what they stand on. All thing that I'm saying is, you still have probably half of the country, still half of these states around the country that didn't take the vaccine, man. So why would we lift the mask up? Why would we take the mask off? I'm just confused, man. I'm just confused. I'm just confused, man. You know what I'm saying? I would like to think. I would doubt that. I would doubt. I'm gonna look it up right here, because I would highly doubt it. That I'm gonna see if China lifted their mask mandate, because let's see here. Let me see here. Well, I guess they're saying like they I don't know. They're saying like they have in Asia, but I doubt. You got India, and China, man. They have a billion freaking residents, a billion citizens, man. United States, we're not even there. We just had 331 million American citizens. Okay. Why are we lifting these masks again? I'm very confused. Like we just not, you know what I'm saying? We 5 months into the new year. Let's just not act like, that we ain't come up out of something. To each his own. I'm not here to say who's right or wrong about taking the vaccine or not. Only thing I'm going to be concerned about is, hey, man, why are we lifting these mask mandates again? Why are we acting like, the vaccine is the end-all, be-all? Why are we acting like that is the brick wall? That is the Mack truck that's going to stop all of it. That's going to stop everything. Why are we acting like that the vaccine is the Superman? You know what I mean? Why are we acting like this, that COVID wasn't nasty? The way that thing was sweeping across the nation, sweeping across the globe. Why are we acting like that wasn't real? That's my only question. you know, once again, like I said, it mean, to each his own, man. You know, it's just amazing how, you know, I just sat back and watching, you know, the whole plan was, you know, they are telling everybody, hey, by July, we can be with your families for 4th of July. Let's be clear, people were around their families once, you know, once that, you know, once you was able to come out the house, when people weren't, you know, restricted to their homes, they wasn't in quarantine. Some people, we seen it on social media. People were with their family and friends after that. You know, they were keeping those tight gatherings, and then we heard the cases around the country where they were having massive parties in colleges. Last summer, you heard about people having pool parties, you know, with hundreds of people there, cookouts, all types of. You heard about the gatherings around the country. So people were still, once they came out of quarantine, people was wilding out then. But all I'm saying is, I don't think the mandates, that shouldn't have been said, because you causing a division right there, and it can be looked at as, you know, it could be down the line, it could cause problems, it could cause issues where, you know, people may be feeling that they're being shamed because whatever their belief is, if they didn't take the vaccine, so then you want to get in, you telling people over here, like, you got people over here like, they're not wearing masks, but then you don't even know how many of the people that's on this side over here who are really being honest about that. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. So all I'm saying is, what's the big rush? Haven't we learned anything? Haven't anything been learned during the COVID? Haven't anything. The COVID set people down. I talked about, my first video talked about being a reset period. My first video that I did during COVID in 2020 was about reset the mind. You know what I'm saying? Resetting, getting your mind right, getting your spirit right. You know what I mean? That was my first video. So haven't we learned anything? Obviously not during that COVID period. At its height. Because me personally, it's not over. It's out here still. You know what I mean? So have we not learned anything, man? Like, we gotta move wiser. This has been my whole thing about creating these videos of me, you know, wanting to come and talk. And I've noticed some of the things I've talked about, as we know, my show isn't, I don't have massive, crazy views by a long shot. But I give thanks, and I'm thankful for you guys who do tap in with me. And I hope that you do share it with your family and friends and associates. You know, some of the things that I may talk about that you may find interesting. You know, I hope that you do have family and friends that you can share this with. You know, I don't claim to be a scholar. I just deal with knowledge and common sense. You know what I mean? And the things that I learned in my time on this planet so far. You know, and that's all. And I try to bring it to the masses. You know, and as of right now, I see who's getting it, and I see that who's not still getting it. But I'm here to teach. I'm here about to teach one. Each one teach one. You know what I'm saying? Spreading the knowledge that I have, you know, and the things that I see. And I know some of the things that I may talk about may be some of the things on you guys' mind that tap in with me. You know, the small viewers that I have that may tap in with me. Things I may say may resonate with you. If there's nothing else, there's one thing that I say that I know for sure. It's going to be one thing out of my conversations that's going to resonate with you, you know. And, you know, I'm thankful for the subscribers that I do have, you know, here on this YouTube page and channel. So, yeah, man, I'm just saying we have to think wise, and we can't get so excited about, you know, being able to be back out, that we just negate everything that just happened Like, we just gonna forget those loved ones that we lost, those that we almost lost. You know, we just can't forget them 587,000 family members, friends, and associates that COVID took from us. We cannot forget about those 33.1 million people that were sick and fighting for their life, you know, and made it through it. Give thanks to that, man, and peace and blessings to all families that's still dealing with the loss of their family members due to COVID, you know. So it's just like a disrespect to me to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't forget that. We can't get too excited, man. You know, we have to still stay on point and you know, and think. It's this thing. We cannot move past that like that and just act like that nothing happened in 2020 when a whole lot happened. A whole lot of people were sitting at home. You know, a whole lot of people were sitting at home wondering if this mandate would get passed so they could keep their place. If this mandate could get passed or legislation so they can get this. That stimulus check might have not helped you, but it maybe helped somebody else. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? So COVID was a blessing in disguise for some, you know, but it still was a lot lost, and a lot could have been gained for everybody, if they stepped back and paid attention to the situation at hand. But yo, man, that's my time. I just want to tap in and speak to y'all about what y'all felt about this COVID, about this mask mandate, because I just felt like, wow, you just gonna come out to the people and just tell people, like, when it was first said, it was, you could come out with the mask off. If you got vaccinated, you could come out with the mask off. But what do you mean when you say that? Some people might not have their second dosage of the vaccine. I mean, I'm not even trying to get into the whole vaccine situation. You know what I mean? I ain't even trying to go there, because to each his own, you know. But just my thoughts about the situation, you know what I mean? I will say this, though. When you get the flu shot, you just get one shot a year. If you take the flu shot, right? That's all I'm saying. I haven't heard much about that, the flu shot, or anything like that. Maybe it was doing part to the vaccine, maybe curbing that. But let's think about it. People having to take 2 doses of a vaccine, though. If that ain't serious enough for you, I don't know what is. You gotta take 2 doses, and let's not act like the flu ain't taking out thousands of people a year too now. That just doesn't get registered as the COVID did, because the COVID was sweeping across the nation and sweeping across the globe. You know what I mean? So it was being talked about. You know. But let's not act like you know, the flu took people out as well. You know, you may not have heard about a lot of it this year because of the vaccine, you know, maybe curb that, you know. And the mask, I should say, really, wearing a mask helped curb that. So again, why would we say lift the mask so soon? That's all I'm saying. But let's just think about it. That COVID was nasty to the point that you had people people, depending on which vaccine you're taking or whatever, you had to take 2 doses. Okay? So that's all I'm saying. First dose, they had to see how your body took to it, how you take to it, what was going to be your side effects. You know what I mean? How your body was going to react to it. Then, whatever the case was, then you go back and take the second dose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying we cannot forget. So I hope all of you, you know, I hope everyone be smart. If you have children, you know, we gotta lead by example for these children. The seriousness of this, we can't just turn our backs on this and walk away from it and then act like, you know, nothing never happened, because that COVID, if a child today is old enough to know and understand what happened in 2020, that's gonna go down. That's history right there. That's history right there. Just think about that. Now let's think about history is only made when something big happens, right? But that's my time, man. I'm your boy Rashawn, aka Looker, and this is Space Invaders TV. Make sure you tell a friend, subscribe, share it around. Peace and blessings to you all. I'm out of here. One.